It's a story about this kid wanting to go to a party, and as he is walking, he hears this man giving a sermon, and he says, well, let me just listen to what he's saying, and he really, really likes what he hears. And you have an agenda, which is you want to go out there and have a good time. You want to go to a party and dance and drink and all that, and all of a sudden, this sermon just captivates you. I mean, with what ears are you hearing that all of a sudden all these desires vanish? To the extent that he waits until the sermon ends and he goes to this man and says, I want to be your disciple. And the guy says, really? Yeah, I want to be your disciple. Okay, why don't you clean the bathroom for a while? Fine, I'll clean the bathroom. I mean, that in itself is complicated. How could you, after an hour of listening to someone, fall in love with the person who has given this profoundly inspiring and moving sermon, where you abandon everything about your life and clean bathrooms? I mean, have you no pride? Have you no shame? Have you no self-respect? Where you just go clean the toilets. And I don't know if you know anything about the toilets in the Middle East around the 8th century. They're horrifying. You do that for 2 years. And once in a while, just once in a blue moon, you're given permission to listen to yet another sermon. And the guy comes there after 2 years and says, okay, well, you've done a good job cleaning the bathrooms. Why don't you now clean the kitchen floor? Just mop it every night. These other 5 senses in him, they have not awakened yet. After 2 years of complete devotion to this man, then another 2 years pass, and he says, okay, maybe now you can wash the dishes. Another 2 years pass, well, maybe now you can cook. Another 2 years pass, maybe now you can make tea. Another 2 years pass, maybe now you can bring the tea to the main hall, lecture hall, and just put it by the door. Another 2 years pass, maybe now you can offer tea to our guests. Another 2 years pass, maybe now you can sit way in the back and listen to the sermon. Another 2 years pass, maybe now you can sit in the middle. Another 2 years pass, maybe now you can sit in the front. Another 2 years pass, and the teacher looks at his disciple and says, don't let this guy in. Don't let him into the kitchen or the bathroom or the lecture hall. So he knocks on the door and says, I'm here to listen to your sermon, and he gets beat up. He doesn't know what to do with himself. I mean, for the past 30 years, he's been serving this guy. And he doesn't have the eyes, he doesn't have the nose, the ears, the touch, the taste, to have those sacred senses guide him in his life. He falls apart because the loss is far too great. He goes to the cemetery. He sits there and cries for hours. And he's just completely exhausted, and he falls asleep. And he has a dream. And in the dream, God comes to him. And the teacher, of course, tells his disciples, let's all light a candle and walk to the cemetery. It's time to celebrate. There are a few things. Your devotion to someone is not really going to get you anywhere if you're looking for these 5 senses. I mean, it's necessary. These are things that you must do. And every time you do them, you hope that something will open and something will pull you upwards. And you'll walk in the Garden of Eden and God is right there talking to you, It's such a cruel thing. First, you fall in love with this guy, you lose your physical life. Then the guy manipulates everything about you, where you lose this other life as well. You neither have the old life, you don't even have the life you were devoted to for 30 years. And you're just as good as dead. مرده ایم میروم بر روی خاک زنده گردان جانم ای جان بخش پاک. That I'm just like a corpse. I may be breathing, I may be walking, eating, but really there is nothing living inside me. It's just a cemetery. And after 30 years, he has a dream. And it's powerful and it's transformative. And that kid, now a 50-year-old man, becomes a teacher. His name is Shah Shuja. His 5 senses come to life. And that is what it takes, I think.